Welcome to winter here in the Hungarian countryside, where we will be spending a few days in a quaint little village known as Noszvaj. And this behind me is our accommodation, a super awesome cabin, literally right next to the woods. So come and join us experiencing what nature is like here next to the Bükk National Park and what else this wonderful little village has to offer. For this weekend, we are heading to northern Hungary, to the village of Noszvaj in Heves County, which is nestled on the southern foothills of the famous Bükk Mountains. Good morning and welcome to our breakfast here in the cabin. Now we're staying here 3 nights, which means we have 2 full days to explore the area and get as much experiences as we can. And since we are right next to the forest, you can even see it here in the window. Up there, there's already forests and hills. So for the first day, we're gonna head into the woods, try to get some views, try to get some snowy woods winter experience. And then tomorrow we're gonna head into the village of Noszvaj and see what experiences are awaiting for us there. But now we need some energy. Let's grab this wonderful breakfast that we prepared for ourselves. Later on I will show you guys around this cabin because I think it's really cool and cozy. But as we're gonna head out, we will need some food because we will be hiking for about 3, max 4 hours here in the woods. Yes, and that means we're gonna get hungry. So we will definitely need some zsemle. A Hungarian tradition is you always have to pack some zsemle, some sandwiches. And the best thing for it is salami because it lasts long. Although right now outside it's quite cold, so it will not spoil. Definitely whatever we put in it is gonna be good. But I still love some excellent Hungarian salami. So we're gonna make these, then head out and then explore the woods. Now when we booked this cabin for ourselves, we weren't expecting like any snow at all, because this what you can see here, this is extremely rare. In the past 2 weeks, ever since like New Year's Eve, so much snow has fallen in Hungary. We haven't seen this much snow in like 2 decades. Like for us to experience this is super rare. We only came here because we love the village. We've been here once in the autumn season, and I can highly recommend coming here during autumn as well, or even summer, any time of the year, because it's a very nice little village. But we came here just, simple nature and the village life. Yes, and look, it's just spectacular. We are so lucky. But in the next 1 or 2 weeks, the weather starts to become milder and this will all be gone. So yeah, we are just extremely happy and lucky that we can experience this. I love these shots that influencers do, but I know every time they need to come back for the camera. Let's go. Now you might be wondering, how the hell are we getting around if every single road here looks the same, especially now under the snow. Right here behind me there's actually a split in our path and we had to make a decision which way are we going. Now, if you come to Hungary and want to go out for touring, there are some websites that actually show you some defined paths and recommended paths. And we chose a mix of a recommended path with some shortcut throughout the woods. And all the paths within these forests will have these small signages. Every single path has their own little signage. And sometimes you can even find maps that show which path has which of these signs. And this is how we know which way we are going. We just need to remember that now we are on the Red Cross path. But there's actually in Hungary a very famous path that goes basically around Hungary. That is the Kék túra, the blue tour, and most of the paths there are marked with a blue line. If I remember correctly, I will write down a correction if that's not correct, but one day, if I'm a full-time YouTuber, I want to go all the way through the Kék túra, the blue tour across Hungary. The lookout spot. But today everything is very foggy, so probably we will see nothing. But we'll see in 700 minutes. No, 700 meters and 20 minutes. P is perc, because that's a minute. But I'll be damned, I did not think we're gonna see anything. And look at this amazing view. Gorgeous. We have finally arrived back at the edge of the village. We're almost at our cabin. This hike was about 3 hours and 5 minutes, and we actually had to take a detour from the original path that we wanted to take, because the original path looks very steep downwards, and with all of the snow we didn't want to really risk it. So instead we chose another path which is slightly longer but much more peaceful, much more calm. Less spectacular in the woods, but we already got that, and I'm super happy with the view we had at the top of the hills here. And most of the paths are not available on Google Maps, so if we don't have like a map that we can see here or take a picture of, then we can use another app. Most of the time I use OpenStreetMaps. There's a separate app, OSM, and I will leave a link in the description. They are really good and really cool. They have basically all sorts of paths available on their maps, and that's what we have used today to figure out how we're gonna hike this wonderful area. Now we gotta take some rest at the cabin. We are already here, we are back. And now that we have warmed up a little bit, spending some cozy time back in the cabin, we are ready to head out once again. Try to get some dinner. Now here in Noszvaj there aren't a lot of restaurant options. The one that we're gonna visit is just a few minutes from our lovely cabin, and we have been there yesterday actually. I had a wonderful sour cabbage with some pork, and my lovely producer had some lovely and tasty chicken. But let's see what we're gonna get today at the Rosmarin restaurant. So this was Rosmarin restaurant, which I think in the end is sort of like the baseline good Hungarian restaurant. Things are not perfect, some things are maybe a little bit salty, but the soup was really homey, tasty. My deer stew was just amazing, and we ate so much that this is, you know, when you come to Hungary, then the portion sizes in these kind of restaurants
Tomorrow's
are huge.
dinner.
Yes, this is the dinner for tomorrow, but we're gonna head back, chill for the rest of the evening. We're gonna open up some bottles of wine, and then we're gonna explore Noszvaj tomorrow. Good morning and welcome to day 2. Now before we head out to explore the village, let me share a few thoughts about our cabin for this weekend. Right now I'm here in this large and spacious living room, and upstairs we have also a large bedroom and a smaller separate bedroom. Back down here we have a small and cozy kitchen with some dining space, and there's also a bathroom with a toilet plus a separate second toilet in case there is a need for it. Plus there is also some space for children if a family would like to rent this place. I really enjoy the vibe. It is really cozy. I dig the kind of vintage and old school furniture that we have, like these chairs. These are super awesome. Plus there are some nice smaller details, some nice small decorations that pretty much give this overall a cabin in the woods vibe. Now, one other noteworthy thing is that there is no television in this place, which kind of helps to unwind, relax, and just enjoy the general silence. Of course, there is internet, so we managed to hook up the laptop to it and watch some Netflix and some YouTube, but there's no television, there's nothing to turn on. It's really laid back and relaxed, and I really love it. Plus this here, the fireplace, I think this is one of the highlights. This was one of the reasons why we actually booked this place, because putting the fire on at the end of the day here and just watching as the wood burns is probably one of the most mesmerizing experiences that you can get here as you're winding down after all the day of hiking. So overall, this is a really nice and simple cabin, and we really enjoyed our stay here so far. But there's still one evening, but before we get there, we will head out to the village now, so let's explore Noszvaj. Now if you zoom in on a map here at Noszvaj, you'll notice that there are actually a lot of different kinds of accommodations here. This is very famous for these weekend getaway spots. You can find simple cabins like the one that we are in, but there are also more modern ones as well. There is actually a trend here of building some of these more modern industrial looking tree houses, weekend houses, things like this. And there are also different types of services that these places offer. For example, we have a very simple one, and you can also get places where you can get like jacuzzis, saunas. There are even very large houses for huge parties if you want to come here and, hang out with friends, or just, come here for family time. So there's a lot to choose from and a lot of different ways how you can enjoy and relax here at Noszvaj. So while Noszvaj doesn't have a lot of significant historical facts in its history, when I did the research about the place, I found the origins of the name very interesting, because originally what was thought was that because of this location, the name kind of comes from Slavic origins, but after some research, it turns out that it actually has origins in Latin. Because when the Mongolians came into Hungary, when Hungary was very young as a kingdom, they basically wiped out most of the people here. And what then happened was that our king invited other people from other countries to settle here, to repopulate the place. And a lot of people who came here came from Latin-speaking regions like Italy, France, or Wallonia today. And apparently, Noszvaj comes from this. Noszvaj means in ancient Latin something like our village. If you now search in Google Translate what is our village in Italian, I think it's Il nostro viaggio, Noszvaj, Noszvaj. Very interesting. And this view we just found is amazing. We are actually really close to historic castle town of Eger, which is also famous and important for us because it is the headquarters of a wine region. And I really enjoy their wine, I really enjoy the vibe. And because of that proximity, Noszvaj also has sort of like a larger wine production. And when you walk these hills over here where we are, you can see a lot of cellars. Now, unfortunately, because Noszvaj isn't really famous as a spot for people to come here to drink wine, a lot of these are not open. So in case you want to come here and get some wine experience, it's always best to register for some wine tastings, for some wine events and wine nights, and then these cellar doors will open for you, and then you get to enjoy some of the local wines. There is a more prominent wine producer here, Tümerer, which me and my good friend Marci tried at the Budapest Wine Festival, and you can actually get their bottles in larger shops, but there's also a shop here that sells some of the local produces. And I intend to buy a bottle there, and maybe also a palinka, because there's also a palinka distillery here in Noszvaj that is pretty famous. But now we're gonna head down and explore the village even more. So that was Csendülő restaurant, one of the other restaurants here in Noszvaj, and it's more of a contemporary kind of a restaurant, but it still has a cozy vibe. I think the food was really, really good, even though if the prices are much higher here than in Rozmaring, but you can still feel that they put some effort into some of their things. The menu itself changes regularly. There's actually a board inside where you get to see what the daily menu is. I don't know how often they change these menus, but nevertheless, the food that we had was nice. The owner is also nice. He's a well-known Hungarian psychiatrist who has also a coffee shop in Eger. But yeah, we're gonna keep exploring the village now. If I remember correctly, there's a cheese shop nearby, so let's go and try to find that. The sun just finally came out today. We haven't seen it in weeks. Ever since this year started and all the snow has fallen, we haven't really seen much sunshine, but it's just gorgeous. Right at the time when we got to the cheese artisan shop, there are a few artisan shops here in the town. And hopefully we can also get our hands on some smoked sausage and smoked meat later on. But now we're gonna try and see if we can get our hands on some jam. So the jam slash marmalade place wasn't open, although there was a bell at their fence which we rang, but they were not home, which also reminded me that a lot of these places here in the Hungarian countryside are so small, they're not really proper shops. You're technically going right into people's homes, small secluded spaces in their homes where they sell their artisan merchandise. And unfortunately, we're here now on a Saturday, which should be like, the prime time when a lot of us come here for a weekend getaway. And like that place wasn't open, and now we stumbled upon tons of different wine cellars, and they are also obviously not open. So it also kind of shows that in Hungary, in the countryside, things are really, really peaceful and really calm, which also means a lot of shops are not open. And I hope that one day, maybe with these videos that we make, more and more people will come here, not just to Budapest, but also to some of these other places, and these places can thrive and the shops can be open and sell more products, because these are really nice things. There's also a palace here, which we will not be visiting today because it's not open. But yeah, there's lots of things here in Noszvaj. So far we're having fun. But now we're gonna start heading back and try to find some other shops.
We found a new friend.
We have a new friend. The village dog. Now on our way back towards our cabin, we managed to get into a small shop to buy some local wine and the local palinka I was talking about. And then we got some nice snacks in the confectionery here in the village, which we will enjoy back in the cabin along with a nice coffee. And also in the morning, the smoked sausage and smoked meat place was not open, but now as we were coming back it was. It is a very, let's say, rural experience. I don't think the gentleman there speaks any English if you would come here, but it's a very, well, let's say, artisan place, and we've been here once already and we know that their sausage is amazing. But if you can learn a few phrases in Hungarian, then I'm sure you can get your hands on some excellent sausage that you can enjoy back at your local accommodation. Now another thing that I would definitely highlight is most of the artisan shops here will not accept cards. So we also had to bring a bunch of cash with us to get our hands on some of these lovely things. But now let's make our way back home, get a coffee, enjoy some sweets, and then enjoy the rest, yes, of our weekend. Now this weekend we came to Noszvaj because we wanted to escape the busy city life of Budapest, and we have totally achieved it here. And while this place may not be on top of your list when you plan your trip to Hungary, we still wanted to show you the other side of Hungary that's out there, that's also charming, nice and cozy, like Noszvaj is, for example. The hikes here are amazing. The little village is charming, and we were super lucky that we could get some artisanal goods like the sausage, the wine and all the other things. And a lot of people may come here, they spend the time in the weekend houses without even leaving it. So we also wanted to show you guys what is in the village, so that maybe more people who come here will also go try to seek out these artisanal places or the restaurants, spend some money, give back to the place, so that this place can also thrive in the future if more and more people come. That's why we make these videos, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it and got inspired to visit other places in Hungary. And if you want to know what else is out there, then maybe check out some of our other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in all of our future videos. Bye!